Welcome to the kNights podcast. I am your co-host, Keikoa.
And I'm Ben.
Welcome back to the show.
It's magic.
Very nice. That was good. I like that one. It's almost as good as the original.
Almost.
Almost, but nothing can top the original. How have you been? How have you been doing?
Magical. I'm going to try to say magic as many times as I can.
Should we have a counter? Just to keep track of it?
Someone can count for me.
Yes. Been keeping busy this week?
So
You're looking for a magic something there.
So magically busy.
There you go. That's even more of a struggle, that one. Not as smooth as the first one. But, so, speaking of magic.
Happy birthday.
Oh, thank you. Yes, this was my birthday week. So I did.
You're magically older now.
Oh, no. It's not
you
good.
Know.
Indeed, it is my birthday. It was my birthday earlier this week, but then. Thank you very much. I've been trying to get together with people and have some good times. Speaking of magic, have I got a question for you? A round table question.
Around.
Okay, so the question for this week is... Excuse me.
I didn't understand the question.
I know. Did you get all that?
Huh?
So, who's your favorite magician or favorite magic trick? So it could be, I mean, in case you didn't have a magician, I'd say you can go with the magic trick. But if you have a favorite magician's tricks that you like, who would it be? Or who is it? Or what is it? Or whom is it?
Favorite magician?
Or when you remember.
All right, these guys. Hey, fellas. Hey.
No, David Blaine, no.
I'm taping a street magic special.
No.
You want to see some magic?
No, you made fools out of us last time. No, thank you.
Look,
No.
we're just out shopping all day. We just want to go into my apartment and relax.
Not David Blaine.
Not David Blaine.
Not David Blaine.
That David Blaine. That David Blaine's good.
With the one that's spelled differently.
Yes. Not the one that's spelled the other way. Although, I guess the street magic ones are pretty good. I think I only saw one of them. The real one that they show. Although, the fake one's much more funny.
Yeah, street magic I have a little bit more harder time believing. Just because it seems more staged to be not staged.
They try too hard.
Yeah. And there was a show called... Oh, what was it called? Magic's Biggest Secrets Finally Revealed.
On Magic's Biggest Secrets Finally Revealed, featuring the WWE Divas.
Yeah.
That's confusing. Seems like a mixed message.
No, but there's that show that put like all the even more recent tricks. They had like classic tricks and recent tricks that were dispelled.
Right. Well, I mean, in this day and age, I mean, back in the day, they had the shows that would come on TV.
I'm so disillusioned.
But now, if you really, really want to, you could just look on the internet. Heck, most of them just sell their tricks, actually, because they're like, well, might as well make a profit on them.
It's the only way I'm going to pay my rent. For some of them.
For some.
Oh, that's a hard one. Okay, I guess I'll go with a type of magic rather than a person, because they keep changing. And I don't really have one that stands out in my mind other than like the ultra famous ones like David Blaine, Street Magic. Not really him. David Copperfield,
You don't like him.
Lance Burton.
You don't like them. So you do remember stuff.
The ones that had their TV specials.
Right.
Where they were part of the bigger shows.
Right.
Well, so it's harder to pick one because I don't really remember who had the special tricks and stuff. And usually they were the bigger, more spectacular tricks. Like, I'm going to walk through the Great Wall of China.
Those are the ones you like?
I'm going to make a helicopter disappear.
That's the type of trick. Like, nice
those
big ones.
Yeah, those ones I'm not really that big of a fan of. So I would say...
So we've gone through a very big list of stuff you don't like.
Yes.
It's like, I don't like this guy. I don't like that guy. I don't like this type of trick. We haven't got to the one that you do like.
That's why I can't pick one.
So basically, it comes down to you hate magic, basically. It's like, I hate all of these.
But I love close-up magic. That's cool. Because it's in your face.
You like it when it's in the face.
In the
I see how it is.
All over the face.
Yes. That's the kind of magic.
The best
you
kind of
like.
magic. Share the magic.
Share the rainbow of magic.
Not like that.
No, okay.
Not like that.
Not like that. Not like that one.
No.
No.
Yeah, I would say more the ones where you're like sitting with them or they're performing right in front of you and you can kind of see everything. And there's not one that really stands out in particular or one that is really that famous that most people would know. Like if you just said it like, oh, yeah, I know that one.
Right.
Like David Blaine.
Right. Well, you've
Which
never fallen down the rabbit hole of watching magic.
I have. Like, who's this one? It's like, oh, that's a cool trick.
But you remember the trick, but not the person performing the trick. Like, screw them. Magic.
Yeah, it's funny. Like, I like the smaller magic that they do that leads up to the big show dazzling whatever highlight pyrotechnics and
right
type deals. And like what David Blaine does for his big finale type of tricks, it's more endurance challenges than magic.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to be in a block of ice suspended above New York City for 2-3 days.
It's the magic of the body. It's body magic, I guess.
Or like, I can hold my breath for 5 minutes. Magic.
I think he had for like 17 minutes or something like that. Something crazy. Something crazy like that.
He's like, I was able to slow my heart down.
There you go. But not that. That's not what you're in it for.
No, because Batman can do that.
It is true. Batman can do that.
He can do anything. He studied magic.
And plus, in theory, the close-up magic you could learn to do.
Exactly. That's more easy. You can replicate that a lot easier. And on a smaller budget.
True. Deck of playing cards, you're good to go.
Card tricks. Card tricks.
You're already pretty much a magician by then.
Yep.
But you don't have anything specific. Just the type of trick. You enjoy close-up magic as your favorite form.
Right. Right.
Right.
What about you?
Yeah,
Favorite magician?
Yes. I'd say I really enjoyed Penn and Teller. It's probably my favorite. Because I actually got to see the show.
I haven't. So that's why I can't say
Vegas.
them.
Right. I think if you'd seen it, you might have remembered them. Because theirs is kind of memorable.
I've seen a lot of their Fool Us shows, and that's actually pretty impressive. But they're sitting back more judging.
Right.
And then it's more the talent that comes on that they're...
Like every once in a while they do a trick as part of the show. That's, just filler for the show.
Right.
But yeah, most of the time it's the other performance that are trying to fool. And that's an interesting show too, because they they legitimately don't know the trick because they have another magician that that they do the trick for, and they know what it is, or they tell them how they do the trick. So Penn and Teller are legitimately having to figure it out on the fly. And I don't think Penn's like a great magician or anything. Like Teller's more the magician one. Like Penn's more basically the showman because he's the talker in it. He's the one that's talking most of the time.
He's an orator.
Yes, which is very good at. But we did see their show. It was a couple years ago now, because I wanted to see it, and it was good. Like they did some like the close-up magic, not like they didn't have just like the table there, but there's still smaller ones, like you said, that build up to the bigger one.
Yeah,
because their finale is the bullet catch trick, a dual bullet catch, where they fire two guns at each other and catch the bullet themselves. That's their finale. Although they do it in the safest way possible. They don't say how the trick's done, and you probably couldn't. I don't think you can find it online because they do it their own specific way. Because I guess there's probably other ways to do it. But
there's a lot of other ways saying this is how this version of the bullet trick is done.
But the thing is, they always say that morally they actually want you to know it's a trick. Like they never claim that it's anything but a trick. Basically, it's not. There's no danger to it because they feel that if you knew that it was dangerous, you'd be kind of implicit in there. Basically, like if someone were to shoot each other, to actually shoot the other one,
like how they did back in the day,
or some people still do. In theory, I think it still happens, but in very smaller venues, maybe. But theirs it's a trick, and it's I don't know. I only got to see it once. I mean, there's a video of it too, so you can see it. But yeah, I really like their show, and I've wanted to go back again because they've changed a lot of it too since I saw it. But beyond just the trick, anything beyond that, like when they're talking about stuff, is interesting too. So that's probably my favorites, actually. Anything else?
What type of magic?
I don't think I have a specific type. If it's an interesting trick, it's an interesting trick. Oh, that was weird to say. So, I mean, I like close-up magic. I like cards. Usually, I'll watch a lot of card tricks. So I guess maybe cards or like close-up magic, essentially in general. Because I've fallen down the magic rabbit hole on YouTube as well. I think it's usually card tricks or close-up magic kind of thing is usually what they see, as opposed to like the bigger ones, bigger shows.
Prepare to be amazed and astounded, dazzled and razzled.
Or both. Why not both?
Magiced by the magicians.
Now, the whole reason why we're talking about this in the first place was because for my birthday,
magical happened.
Magical. My lovely wife, Carrie, actually won tickets to go to the legendary? I don't know which one's the right.
The legend, wait for it, dairy. There you go.
Thank you. Magic Castle. It's basically by invitation only, or you have to have a guest pass or something. And she won a guest pass, so we got to go.
The Academy of Magical Arts in Hollywood, California.
Sounds nice. It's a magic castle or a magic mansion. Magic mansion would work too. I guess castle sounds cooler. But we got to go to the Magic Castle because we had the guest pass, and Ben was there as well with Claudia, and we all got to go and see magic. Well, we got to eat
the
and
mysterious, the miraculous, the magical.
Magical magic.
Prestidigitation.
That's what he said.
Worcestershire.
Thank you.
Huh?
But it was like it was dinner and a show actually. You couldn't skip dinner. You had to have dinner.
I think it was the dinner counted. You had to order a minimum to be able to score the tickets to the show. Otherwise, you'd be waiting in standby, which turns out full house. Because I think when we got in, there were only like 2 seats left.
That
was
show?
open, like, because everyone already sat down by that time since we got in there kind of late.
Oh.
Because we were the last ones to leave the dining room and like, oh yeah, don't worry. As long as you're in there before the show starts. Otherwise they lock the doors.
Right, even though the ticket said 15 minutes before you forfeit your tickets. And they were still trying to sell us dessert at that point. Which was kind of like,
Gotta pad the bill.
I guess. But we didn't know better. So we're like, okay.
It was my first time.
But then the waitress should have known. But she's
she knew. She knew.
Like if we had taken...
I don't care about you, I just care about my tip.
Basically. But the food is kind of expensive. It's pricey, but I mean, it's classy place. I mean, it could have started at $100 a plate because it's classy place, but it was pretty pricey. But that was
you got the special.
So did Claudia.
That was $75 for one plate.
One plate. It came with a baked potato.
I don't think you finished yours.
Not with all that meat on. I tried to.
Meat on a steak.
I really tried to. But it was, the special was like bone-in ribeye, I believe. I don't know how big it was.
It was a 27 day dry aged bone-in ribeye steak for $75.
It was a special too.
If you've seen Salt Bae on the internet, it's that same kind of steak that he's cutting and then sprinkling with salt.
Pretty much, except we didn't have the appropriate knife for said steak.
It was not sharp enough.
It was not going to get that job done.
And you weren't wearing... Well, he wouldn't be let in with what he's wearing. Because there's a strict, very strict dress code.
Suit and tie. You can choose a tie. You can have
the
a bow
blazers
tie.
must be worn at all times.
Mm-hmm.
Unless you're sitting down and eating. Or temporarily giving your coat to a lady.
Yes.
Who is cold.
But they're very specific about it. You have to come. They'll deny you entry. Although I learned that you can get a loaner tied suit and tie. But it's
and
not.
This is true.
It's not exactly the pinnacle of fashion. I from what I gather, I don't know what it looks like because we all came prepared.
As it says here, suit and tie are required, but there are loaner clothes in case you forget. But trust us, you really, all caps, really don't want that loaner jacket and tie. They're deliberately hideous so people will know what you did.
Can't pull a fast one.
No.
Your shame will be worn by you.
But it is very classy inside. A lot of dark woods and low lighting. Feels very old-timey and has this kind of nostalgia to it.
It's true. Like it feels like you're kind of like walking through a time portal kind of thing because you don't really see the outside unless you like really look out the window. But
whisked back in time.
It feels like that. Like
and then once you look out the window, you see,
what
was it? Not Hollywood.
Well, technically Hollywood's down
Highland
the street,
Boulevard, right?
No, you can't. Highland's to the right. Like it's like
what street is
it's
it?
like up the hill from Hollywood and Highland. So you can't. You technically you can't really see Hollywood because it would be the cross street there. But it's a little further down because you're kind of behind the Kodak Theater, or if it's called the Kodak. Technically in front of the El Capitan.
The Dolby.
Yes. Thank you, the Dolby. And the Chinese Theater. I don't think it's TCL.
Yeah.
TCL one. It's behind all that stuff.
Yeah, but it was really nice until I looked out the window and like, oh, there's the Hollywood traffic and a traffic light.
Yeah,
It's
so
like-
don't look out any windows. But then again, unless you're eating, we just happen to be next to one.
And no photography inside at all.
None.
Or your entire group gets kicked out if one of you decides to take a picture. So, no Instagramming photos of how awesome the food was or looked.
It did look good. You got the prime rib, which was ridiculous. it didn't look like your standard prime rib.
Well, it wasn't even that big of a prime rib. It's not the biggest prime rib that you can order, say, out at different restaurants. Like, you can get a 44-ounce prime rib at some places. And over here, they have a 10-ounce or a 14-ounce prime rib. I opted for the 14-ounce because $9 more, $40 versus $49, like, might as well.
Yes.
And I'm only here once.
It's true. That was the other thing. It's like, well, you're probably not going to come back unless you get another guest pass, which is doable. But I mean,
I filled myself up with meat.
sweet,
Meat.
all the meats.
I like no more meat. I don't want any more meat for a long time. And then I had a double cheeseburger the next day.
There you go. That didn't last very long.
No.
But then after we ate, because everyone got something different. Like Claudia and I got the special. You got the prime rib.
The special was good though.
Was it?
That
It was
dry aged steak.
It was big. It was a lot of meat. I was
It was
like,
very flavorful and very tender.
and it even had like a garlic butter type thing on top of it to boot, on top of the other thing.
Right. Well, I had the Magic Castle. They have their own version of a dry rub
Oh
that
yeah,
it's seasoned with and cooked, and then it's covered with garlic butter. Yeah.
you just remembering it for a second. I was like, I don't know if I can get through this. I'm like, oh, but I got to, so I just kept plowing through it. So much. But like, Carrie got the short rib, which was actually pretty good. It was really tender, actually. I think Scott.
IPA braised beef short rib, roasted garlic, whipped potatoes, seasonal vegetables, and IPA braising reduction. $41.
So fancy. It was good. I had a bite of hers. Hers was like really tender.
Yeah,
Yes.
that one's cooked well done.
Mm.
So it's cooked all the way through. And yeah, I tried that one too, and it was delicious. Very flavorful.
Yeah, I was like, oh, I could have gotten that. I usually wouldn't have thought of getting this. I think she pointed it out on the menu. I was like, I don't know. And then when she got it, like, it's not too bad, actually. Actually, everybody's stuff was pretty good. I was like, anyone's was pretty good because there was like the filet mignon, which is, well, it's filet mignon, so it's going to be good, probably.
I think he got the Larson cut, which was the smaller one, which is, the names basically just mean the size of it. So
Right.
it was a 6-ounce filet mignon served with roasted garlic with potatoes, seasonal vegetables, and Cabernet demi-glace.
It was good stuff. It was expensive, though. Yeah, the plates were expensive, but they were good. It wasn't like tiny food either.
$39.
Yeah.
If you want the Macomb cut, which is 9 ounces, 3 more ounces, $47. And if you want Milton style, add $10 more.
Nice. But we also
So you
got,
can see how the prices add up rather quickly.
but you're already starting high. You're just getting higher from there. You're not starting low, and you're like, I can stay low. You're already going to start out high, so it's just how much higher would you like to go?
What was the last one? Was that sea bass or
Sea
salmon?
bass. She got the sea bass.
Miso glazed sea bass with bok choy and exotic mushroom with shoyu, soy, sake, and ginger sauce. $41.
Wow.
Not to mention the drinks,
I was going to say.
which I think it was just the two of us that got the signature drinks.
Right. Well, Daisy got a margarita, but I don't think was it just a regular margarita? Or
It was a blood orange margarita.
Okay.
It wasn't really... Yeah, it wasn't really anything special.
Right, okay. It wasn't
was
like a
named-
special
It
version.
wasn't named after anyone or created after
Okay.
anyone, like yours.
Yes. Well, you had one, too.
Yeah,
Good.
mine was called the Dynamo, which was named after the same magician of the same name.
Was it named after him too?
Yep.
I thought it was a different one.
So he was Magician of the Year in 2015. And that was his drink of choice. So it was vodka, a few different fruit purees thrown into that, and Red Bull. So I could stay awake.
I was like, I didn't even know it had the Red Bull in it.
And it was very tame compared to yours.
Mine was right at the top of the drink list, but now I'm trying to remember what it was, because I was like, it was because everyone said mine was really strong, so I think mine was the MPH Old Fashioned.
Yeah.
Which MPH stands for Neil Patrick Harris, because he was the ambassador of magic, from what I was reading, for a while. So he was basically, I don't know if he was the president or something.
That was the official title of the club's president.
Ah, yes.
So you would hold the title of ambassador of magic,
and he also performed there.
Yeah.
So the Barney Stinson character doing magic is not too far from the truth, actually. That's actually true to form. So the MPH because it's basically an old fashioned, which I'd never had before either. But it was a wild turkey rye infused with fresh cherries and oranges, then baked in an oak barrel with Angostura bitters. Angostura?
So strong but smooth.
Very smooth, which Scott kept saying, because apparently he drinks more of the finer stuff. But everyone else was drinking it and is noting how very strong it is.
How magically delicious it was.
I didn't think it was terribly crazy, over the top or anything, because it wasn't a burning thing, anything like that. Like if you have, I don't know, something really kind of rougher, like a tequila or something, or just a straight whiskey or something, where it kind of just, burn it out, burn you out. It was like you said, smooth. At least to me, I didn't feel like it was problematic, and I didn't feel.
Yeah, I've had some of the stuff where you gotta chew down. So, yeah, this was definitely one of the.
I didn't feel.
It's not one that you just pound. You enjoy it. You sip it, but you kind of do have to drink it quick because they do load a lot of ice into the drinks.
Yeah.
And at $15, they shouldn't have that much ice in it. Just saying.
It's it got neat, maybe. But yeah, it was. It was kind of getting watered down quickly, so I didn't really feel anything so much after, barely anything. And I'm a very lightweight, very much so.
Was it the one shot of tequila you did during last time?
And I had prepared for that tequila too.
You had food in you.
I had food. I was hydrated, and I did the shot, and I was like, "This is not good. We're going to a bad place now." And that was one shot, and I was like, I need to be in training apparently more, because that did not go well.
Yeah,
that was rough. But last night, the experience with this was quite nice. It was nice, smooth. I didn't have any pain, anywhere
during or after.
Yeah, I was just like, oh, okay, that happened. Okay, that's nice. Nice experience. I don't know if I get an old fashioned somewhere else, if it'll be quite as nice. Maybe I'd have to see. Maybe next place I go that serves alcohol, I'll order an old fashioned as a test.
Wow.
Maybe I'll like it. Maybe that will be my drink of choice. I don't have a drink of choice when I go to places.
Wow.
It's all changing because of magic.
Magic.
Yes.
So those were the main courses and the drinks, but we also had appetizers. Right. One specifically, calamari, which it is what it is.
It's calamari.
And then the other one, which was supposed to be one of their signature ones, was a crispy pork belly, whole grain mustard, an apple cider vinaigrette with a radish micro herb salad on top. So I think there were 5 pieces total. 4 pieces.
It's 4 pieces. And
she's like, you want to order 2 orders so everyone can get one?
I didn't get it at first when she said that. Then when they brought it, I'm like, oh, I get it now. They're pretty small. Like it could have been one per person. Yeah, it was. That was a bit like the calamari was calamari.
$16.
You could have been. I mean, it was still a little light for 16. I guess I don't know. I never ordered calamari.
Well, it was like compared to other places, it wasn't as heavily breaded, and it was fried nicer. So
okay.
Usually they over fry it, or it's kind of, well, I don't want to say gamey, fishy.
Fishy.
Yeah,
okay.
fishy.
So I don't have much of a point of reference for the calamari. You've had it before.
It was good, but it was small.
Yeah. Yes. And I ordered the pork belly because it's like,
well, we were trying to get things for everyone to kind of share together.
Right. But I wanted to try it because it's like, oh, that might be good, like a nice crispy pork belly, and it was nice. It was just small. Like it's like, oh,
it was crispy and porky.
I guess it wasn't lying. It never said there was going to be a lot of it. So that one was like, okay, I wish there was more or it was cheaper because it felt like it was like.
Well, that's better than Phil's 4 cheese ravioli story. Ooh, 4 kinds of cheeses? No, 4 pieces of ravioli. That'll be $20.
She's like, wait, what?
Or 25.
It's all there in the text.
Wolfgang Puck. Expensive.
Yeah. So that's one. That is one where of the meal stuff, like the main dishes were kind of expensive, but they were all good, and you got a lot of food. But that appetizer one was kind of like the opposite, where you paid a lot, and you're like, it's tiny stuff, but I didn't get much food. I felt like I needed to eat more on top of what I got. So that was kind of a
versus your ribeye steak with the bone sword.
It was unwieldy. It was like every time I turned my plate, I thought I was going to knock over a bunch of glasses. That's how big that bone in came out.
It's like Flintstones size.
It did. It was entertaining just to look at.
I was telling you needed to crack open the bone and eat up all the marrow.
I could see that being a possibility with that thing, because that thing could be used as also a weapon if you needed to, in a pinch. You just eat the meat and then use it as a sharpen the bone. But, and then, like, even after that, we also had dessert on top of everything else.
Yes.
Which, it was my birthday. It was actually on my birthday we went, so they didn't say anything, but I think they brought like a chocolate cake type thing.
Chocolate mousse cake.
Mousse cake, which they didn't say they were going to bring in. Kind of, it just showed up when I was in the restroom.
Yeah.
So I wasn't even there for it. Plus, but since I didn't know we were getting that, we're like, well, let's get a dessert to share, because we were all kind of full too. But, you know, you're at the Magic Castle, you want to try.
What was it? It was like banana cream pie.
It was a banana cream pie with a nutter butter crust.
That's it. Nutter butter.
And like it was pretty legit too, because it had like one just row of bananas, just sliced bananas, and then the actual banana cream was above it. So it's pretty thick banana cream pie. But the problem was we were running out of time.
Just put the banana in your mouth and swallow.
I was at that point like shoveling as much of the dessert as I could into my mouth, not really tasting it.
Just bananas and cream. Just shove it in there and swallow it.
Just trying to put it down because we were running out of time, and no one's getting you don't get like a doggy bag. I didn't see anyone with a doggy bag. You can't.
It's not classy.
It ain't classy, so you ain't getting one. But I also didn't want to leave the food there, but I didn't have any room to put the food in my belly because it was already occupied. So I'm like, oh, this is not good. And we were rushing because like it was 9:40 or 9:42.
No, it's 45 already by the time we started eating, and they're like, we shut the doors at 10.
And the tickets even say, yeah, they they stop. They not expire, but
Yeah, they expire,
they expire
15 minutes
15
before
minutes
the
before.
show.
So we're like, it's now 15 minutes before the show, and we're still sitting at the table.
We haven't paid yet.
Everyone's gone. All the other tables have left to go to the show. Probably, it's just us, and it's just like, uh-oh. But like, it would have been nice
She
if
actually disappeared for the rest of the night
after
because somebody
she-
else took our bill. They're like, oh, did you want to pay for that so you can make the show? It was like a totally different waitress.
But there was no warning that, oh, if you get this dessert, you may miss the show if you actually, take your time to eat it like
Like
a
I
normal
said.
person.
I'm trying to pad my bill. Bigger my tip. Big tip.
Yeah, that seemed kind of shady. But I get it. But I was just like, oh, okay. It's lame. But yeah, we still made it, though. Even though we were like, we gotta go. And we were all the way at the back. I can't remember what the hall's called. That particular hall. 'Cause
That is the Palace of Mystery.
it's the main hall, the biggest hall, which isn't big. It's actually small to stage standards, but it's the biggest room they have, performing room they have at the Magic Castle. It's where the big show happens. The one you pay
the
for.
big show.
Is that show. And I guess you pay for it with the $20 to get in. It's part of the dinner.
Yeah, the cover charge.
It's part of the cover charges. That
But you
one.
don't get the tickets until you order enough for dinner.
Oh.
That's why they give you the tickets at the end. To
You
make
gotta
sure you
make
don't go like, oh, I'm just getting this bowl of chili. That's it.
That'll be $50.
The famous Magic Castle chili.
We didn't try the chili.
$10.
Maybe if we go again, we'll try the other half of the menu. But we did make it to the show, and it was the main show. The main headline performer was
Jeff McBride and Abigail. They're married.
yes, they are. And I wasn't sure what the plan was because it didn't feel like we were really trying because they have like 3 halls, like a big one, a slightly smaller one, then the close-up magic one.
So those are the main one, the Palace of Mystery. The second largest one, or second smallest one, right in the middle. The Parlor of Prestidigitation.
You want to try that one again?
Parlor of Prestidigitation.
Almost there.
Digitation.
Yeah, close enough. I can't say.
Prestidigitation.
There it is. Good. It's good. That's the second one. It's like kind of smaller than the main one.
It's their elegant turn of the century theater. So
you get the show. You get the tickets to the main show, but you can go to any of the shows. But there's a lineup for them. So they have show times. They have like a magician that perform earlier in the day, and then a different magician that performs in the evening part for the halls. So if you come earlier, you can see actually
the early parlor and the late parlor.
You can see 2 different, like you can see quite 6 different shows or 5 different shows. If you come earlier and you just stick around and just go to the early and the late show, but it let us out of the main. I guess we could talk about the main one. What'd you think of the main one? The main guy, the main show, the mystery.
You want to just run through everything first and then go through the
rundown?
ranking? Yeah.
So after that, we
So
that show,
the main show, the Palace of Mystery in the biggest theater with Jeff McBride and Abigail McBride.
right, and then we came out and just kind of were in that main hallway for a little while,
Waiting in line for the Parlor of Prestidigitation with Ron Saylor.
Yes, I feel like I know that name, but now maybe I just know it because I saw it there. And it's another magic show in a smaller venue than the mystery one, but still a decent amount. After that let out, we went back into the main hallway where they have like a table set up in a corner, where another magician is doing just close-up magic on the table. But it's not in a hall. It's just his own I guess maybe rent a space or something. I don't know. It's just he's just there. So
It's just a table tucked into a corner.
so people just kind of he's there and starts saying stuff, and people just come and meander over, and then sit down at the table, and he starts doing stuff.
Yeah, so that was Brian Gillis, world's best close-up magician, and according to Johnny Depp, best I've ever seen.
So say John Depp, but he was in the
So
hall. He
says
was
he.
just there, kind of thing, doing close-up magic.
A lot of card magic, coin magic, mostly card magic,
Mostly card magic.
but he was good.
It was good.
Couldn't catch, a little bit sloppy, but even then you couldn't really catch how he was.
Right, and he's been doing the
Going through
same
the cards.
show probably all through the day or the night, kind of thing. Because you caught some of it after we got out of the main hall and before we went into the secondary hall, into the parlor of prestidigitation. Prestidigitation. That's what that's there. Before we went in there, you caught some of his show.
Using my tallness.
He was using his tallest because there was a lot of people around, so we couldn't. Not all of us people could see. But then when we came out of the parlor, he was just setting up for a new round. So I sat at the table and Carrie sat at the table, but then everyone else was able to see. At least they were close enough, so we got to see the whole show, the whole shebang, which was cool. And after that is like it had kind of cleared out actually for the most part. I think the Magic Castle, because it was a Tuesday night and it was around 12ish at this point.
Yeah, it was already midnight by the time you
So-
finished that last one.
It was already kind of cleared out and emptied. So, and it's interesting because you actually, when you come in, the restaurant or where you eat is upstairs. So you come in from the lobby, and then you basically just immediately go upstairs. If you have a reservation, you're just
Passing through a whole bunch of bars.
right. Which I had forgotten we were on the second floor, because then the main hall's on the second floor, and the parlor of prestidigitation is on the second floor. But then we I just gonna blow through that. Then we came down to the first floor, and that's where they have the close-up magic area or room, which is probably the smallest of the rooms. And it's interesting because I don't know if we didn't really have a plan. We were like, oh, we're going to hit this showtime, that showtime, this showtime. We just
I thought we were just eating and catching a show. I didn't
That's
know
what I thought
how
too.
It was set up.
I was like, we had no plan, but somehow we managed to just watch everything. We just serendipitously just wandered from room to. It's like, oh, there's a show here starting in 10 minutes. Oh, let's get in this line then. And we got in that line when went to one parlor and then came out like, oh, the guy's setting up his table. Let's watch that. It's like, oh, okay, that was cool. Let's go downstairs. We're asleep. It's like, oh, there's a close-up magic hall down here. Oh, look, there's like 3 people in line. Oh, they're going to start the show soon. I was like, so it kind of...
that last show was at 12:30, so like 30 minutes after midnight was the last show.
I think they started
was-
it earlier, too, because it was just the people that were left in the castle.
Yeah, it was basically our group and then 3 other people. And one of them, I think, was an actual magician who was like a regular there.
Right.
Because he knew everyone, and he was just talking like, oh yeah, this guy, he's great and everything.
Mm.
And the show that let out just prior, the magician in the first show, Jeff McBride, he actually watched this close-up gallery show for this specific magician, Glenn Ramon Farrington.
He was there?
Yeah, he walked out of the thing. He's like, you guys are in for a treat.
Oh, he walked out of that
Yeah, he walked out of that
in the
one.
show just before.
Right.
Oh, okay, because I didn't know where he came from, because magic, or I wasn't paying attention.
Magic.
But yeah, he was walking across our path when we came down the stairs. Like, hey, that's the guy from the first show we
Can I
saw.
get your autograph?
So I got his autograph.
On the playing card that he threw out.
Pretty much.
Can you sign my card? Your card? My card
This
now?
is your card. This is your card.
Now it's
right?
mine.
Now it's mine. I took it. But I didn't even hear him say that, though, about the other guy.
I think you were just in awe.
I was.
Ooh,
It was cool.
They
But-
have 5 bars in that place. I only saw 3, maybe 4.
Do
The
they have
fifth
like a
one is in the-
magician-only bar?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Because, like, in order to get into the Magic Castle, you can either become an associate member, which is basically like you're a paid member, but you have to join a waiting list in order to even get to the point
Sounds like
where
Club
you can
33.
pay for it. But one of the perks is you get unlimited amounts of guest passes. So, in theory, you just hand them out, just as a tip for anybody. Like, I don't leave tips. I just leave guest passes to the Magic Castle. But I mean, it makes sense because the Magic Castle just makes money off people coming there. So
it's like you're going to pay $75 for food.
It's in their best interest to give unlimited guest passes to the members. But there's also the magician members, where you can actually, if you're a magician, you can actually audition to become a member from the magician side. But you have to actually audition as a magician to do it, to get in.
A lot of shuns in there.
A lot of shuns.
Audition for a magician.
But then, if you do get in, then I think you get a lot of the stuff the other members get. Plus, you get access to, there's a bar that only magicians can go to.
The W.C. Fields bar, which is where we saw them. He actually came out to the other bar to order a drink, and then he went downstairs into the magician-only area. And then that's where you could hear applause and laughter for whatever show is going on down there.
Is that the one we couldn't go to?
Yes. It's like, none shall pass unless thou are imbued with magic.
I mean, it's magic.
Magic.
And you also have access to a special library that only the magicians get to see.
The Magician's Library.
Exactly. That's where they keep the real magic.
Magician-only lectures and magician-only events. Subscription to Genie magazine. And magician members are allowed to perform impromptu magic in designated areas of the clubhouse. So those are the magician members only that can do that.
So that was that guy that we saw at the table. He just there's an open table. Boom, magic.
Yeah, because he wasn't on the program at all. And then he was just handing out business cards like, I do corporate events.
And if you leave a review on Yelp,
I'll give you a guest pass.
I'll give you a guest pass. Which are technically free to him, I'm pretty sure. So.
Yeah.
But it's a one way to get another pass to get in if you don't know anybody. Because there's a few ways. And it's actually easier to find ways to get back in once you've been in. Like you can get one for the magician, basically. Or you can get one for the photographer. If you pay to have them take your picture, they'll give you a guest pass. If the photographer happens to be there, because they're not always there.
We saw some walking around, though, but they weren't...
Right, it seemed like they were
booked for something else?
Yeah,
or...
I saw one and I was just like, it doesn't look like we could just ask him, but that's what I heard. You can ask if you'd pay for a picture too. It's not like, take our picture. It's you'd pay for a picture and then you get a guest pass to come back. So there are ways, and you can stay at the hotel, I guess. I don't even know how much that probably costs. But they do have a hotel there that you can, I think, get on the guest list if you stay there.
Oh. Yes.
But yeah, so yeah, and then we went to the last one, the close-up magic room. So we did actually hit every place.
4 of the 5, supposedly. But I think that 5th one was the magician's only area. So that group that was in front of us, they were able to get in because of that guy that they were with. Who was a magician. Or a magician member.
Right.
To get into that magician member only area.
Did they go in there?
I think so, because remember we got the names confused. He's like, I think you've seen every show. I'm like, what?
Oh, yeah.
They're like, they have the same name.
Right.
So technically, for what we could see, we did see everything.
We saw everything we could see.
Yeah.
Unless we make friends with a magician. Do we know any magicians?
I know one on TV.
Close enough. But yeah, and we didn't plan for it. It just happened, like magic, actually.
You know,
Because it closes at 2, and it's a regular club house. Kind of like if you have a membership, you can go and just. If you're actually just a member, you can just go and hang out at the bars and have a drink. You don't have to. I don't think as a member you have to buy dinner.
no,
You can just go in.
Yeah, members can visit anytime the clubhouse is open, which is 7 nights a week for ages 21 and up. Friday has a members only lunch, and Saturday and Sunday brunch for all ages.
So
It's
you-
part of the membership.
So you can get that. I don't even think it says how much the membership is though on the website. I'm sure it's not cheap.
Yeah, there's no pricing on here,
Yeah.
but they do say wait list, and then
First you gotta wait, and then you gotta pay a lot of money probably to get in.
and even you get 4 VIP passes each year, which allows 4 people access with no door charge, but dining is required.
But you still got the dining.
Yeah,
You're not that
and that's
important.
a VIP.
You're not that important.
You're vaguely important.
You can skip the door fee, but you still gotta buy some food. Some special chili.
And if you're a member, then there's no drink or dining minimums. But if you're not a member, there's a minimum, which doesn't say what it is. And we had no problem meeting that minimum.
Not so much. Not so much. But it was a pretty cool experience. Would go again, hopefully for cheaper.
So going back into the actual magicians, I would say the main show that we saw with Jeff McBride and Abigail, I know I've seen him on TV before performing,
I thought I did too.
and I don't remember which show it was. It could have been like World's Greatest Magic or America's Got Talent, or I don't know.
I know I felt like
that.
I'd seen him too.
But I've seen that act before.
I feel like
Exactly.
I'd seen because he did the thing with the mask,
Yeah.
and I felt like I'd seen that before. But
And
it
then
was
that
a
last
while
part
ago.
with the card thing. Or maybe it was the Guinness Book of Records when that was still a TV show.
Yeah.
With
Well,
host
'cause
Mark
he-
Thompson.
Because he ended with his card.
His fastest hands Guinness Book of Records.
Right.
So that was cool, but I think I would rate that last on my list of...
Well, not terrible, just lowest on your list.
Yeah. And I think partially it's because I've seen it before too.
Yeah.
And it wasn't as clean a presentation as the TV show. That was
Yeah, in
probably
general, too. Yeah. And, I mean, the thing about the rooms is they're kind of small-ish. So you kind of get that intimate feel just from being in there. But even there, it felt small yet too big. Like the show was like for a bigger theater kind of thing.
Yeah.
But we were kind of crammed in there for that. So it's like,
And then the next one that we saw was Ron Saylor. And how would you describe that? It was like more. It wasn't really close-up magic. It was like more intimate magic because it's theater.
He did like
was smaller.
mentalist stuff. Like, well, at least the first one was a mentalist thing. But yeah, it was
Kind
still
of.
still magic. Or well, the mentalist, he was just memorizing the page. Or that's the trick, is he's supposed to memorize some random.
Allegedly.
Right. But that's more like a mentalist trick than like an actual, like a magic trick, which he did like a floating table thing. He did the thing with the cards. So he did just straight
The card thing was cool.
magic.
So that was more impressive because the way it was presented, it's like, when did he have time to do any of this. I don't even recall seeing him touch that other part, which is what sells the effect.
Exactly. How does some magic work?
The cards and goblets, if you're wondering.
You can buy the trick.
I'm pretty sure you can.
Wow, you're friends.
And then while we came out of that one, we did the close-up magic table with Brian Gillis. And then that was the one that you sat down and was really cool because you were actively involved. And he was talking to you, like, what's your name? Okay, what's this? Pick a card, stop here. Is that good? You want to change it? No?
It's what he does. Got it down to an art form.
And he's doing that right in front of your face, and you're like, what?
I especially liked the girl that was sitting across because she was so over the top with her amazement that it made me enjoy it more.
She was kind of weird.
Yeah, exactly. But that's fine. Like, you want... Because, like, if everyone's just like, yeah... But she, like...
Well, she
in
was...
that way that, like,
she
a
was
child
impressed.
would be impressed by, like, to the overly extent that a child would be impressed, where you're just like, they're so excited because magic. And most people or older people are like, oh, yeah, it's cool, magic. You're just not... You don't have that same... For the most part, like,
it was funny.
awe.
It was funny because she was impressed with the tricks, and then when he was talking, trying to do his story thing and connect with people more, and kind of poking a little bit of fun at the people that he picked, she got really offended and like, "Hey, whatever." And then he does the trick. He's like, "Oh, hey, oh," and it's just weird seeing that dynamic.
Well, because I think she was just playing along, just like getting into the whole thing. Whereas, like, you had the guy next to her with just, like, kind of straight face. Even threw the card at him, didn't even move.
Just like, here, catch. Dunk, boink. It's on the ground. Nice catch.
Yeah, it was just like, didn't even make an attempt kind of thing. It's like, well, because that's kind of the thing about the magic is, like, obviously, you know, it's all basically tricks and palms and stuff, but you want to be, you know, just give in to the magic. You know, just enjoy the magic.
Just let it happen.
Just let it happen kind of thing. A part of us wants to know how it happens, but then once you know how the sausage gets made, you're just like, well, I didn't really want to know, because it just kind of like ruins it in a way. But
I'd want to know so I can re-perform it for other people. Like, check this out.
In theory, but then you just know how to do it the same way you could learn how to do something very difficult, but probably not actually be able to do it because it's very difficult to actually do. Beyond just knowing how it works.
How'd you do that? Magic.
It's probably the easiest way to say it. Not the days, months, years of perfecting your own sleight of hand that it could take. Because, I mean, it's a lot of just mostly... Or it is just mostly sleight of hand. Or misdirection.
Mostly that.
Although,
well, both. Yeah.
In theory, if you're just like really trying to pay attention to crack the trick, usually the misdirection, and you in theory would see it coming and look the opposite way of the misdirection.
And then you'd miss the prestidigitation.
You might miss the magical fun part of it, but you're going for the meat and bones of how he did it. But a lot of them you could buy the tricks like. On Fool Us for Penn and Teller, usually, like, I always watch the winners after, like, the ones that fool them on YouTube, but then you'll be usually uploaded on the magicians, their YouTube page, and then, like, in the descriptions, like, buy this trick, I think, so.
I have not seen that.
Yeah, you could usually buy, or, like, the video that details the trick, so they get a chance to perform the trick, and you too can learn how to do the trick. Although, technically, you'll learn how the trick works, but being able to actually perform the trick, probably not included.
Practice.
Yeah, you're going to have to do a lot of practicing, which they leave out. It's like, yeah, you just spend your money and you can do this trick right out of the box.
And there's a lot of things, like all these magicians that we saw, they were all older, a lot more experienced. So they're just doing it like it was nothing. It's like, hey, you make it look so easy. How? Magic. That's how.
And
then the last one that we saw was by far the most entertaining.
Hmm.
Glenn Ramon Farrington.
Indeed.
And I only know his name because I'm reading it off the thing.
Right.
But the Ramon part, that's the part that everyone knew because he made it funny and tied it into a story. And it was hilarious.
And I think the thing about this close-up magic is it's much more intimate than any of the other ones. The other ones aren't, like, the second biggest one isn't huge either, but there's a certain intimacy, because even the room's kind of smaller, too, for that
Parlor
particular...
of...
Well, that's the other one, but what's the name of the...
The close-up gallery?
Oh, it's just called the close-up.
Yeah.
It's even have a... Okay, I thought it had a cool... Okay. The close-up gallery is smaller than the... I was going to say the pillar.
Parlor?
And then I was going to say the palace. I was just coming up with P.
Digit...
Did it? Predication? Predatory?
Predestination? What?
But yeah, I think the general consensus is people really like the one where you're right there, the up close and personal.
That was basically like comedy magic.
Yeah.
Close-up comedy magic, which I think that would best describe the type of magic I like.
What?
Close-up comedy magic. He's like, I have to roll that R in my name, and I have to say my middle name, because my mother, who's very Spanish, would smack me upside the head if I didn't say that. So therefore, I always introduce myself. What's your name? Ah, nice to meet you. I'm Glenn Ramon Farrington.
Which leads you to remember the Ramon. Even if you forget the other two parts, you will that part will stick with you. Because every time he introduced himself
to a lady. Which that room is full of ladies.
Yes. He'd always introduce himself the same way. So it kind of gets stuck in your head. But he was really good and the venue is so kind of small. The smallest one is very intimate just because of the size of the room. You can't help it. But it helps that he was very entertaining in his own right. Up close and entertaining.
Yes.
And that's the one with just like a table and like they just do tricks on the table, which we kind of saw in the hallway too.
He never stood up. He only stood up to come into the room and stood up once he was finished.
Not that there was a lot of places to go in the room.
Nope.
There was just his table.
Everything
there.
happened on the mat.
Yeah. So, but there's so many amazing. There's always one. But I think the general consensus is everyone that I talked to liked his set the best.
The best.
And then kind of worked backwards from there.
Right.
And I can see that. It makes sense. Like, beyond the magic. Because the magic was cool, everyone that was doing it. Maybe it was the last show of the night. Or whatever it was. But or maybe he's always like that.
And he's the one who the first magician that we saw came out and said, "You're in for a treat. This guy is amazing. He's good. He's really good."
And that guy's got the fastest hands.
According to Guinness.
Hands so fast.
They timed it. I think that was the show that I saw. It was on the Guinness World Records on Fox. Because they timed it and they slow motioned his hands, and it's like you see his hand and all of a sudden the card pops out. Like, where'd that come from? When he's like shooting the cards at the end everywhere, it's like card.
Does that make you want to get into magic now? Did you ever want to do magic?
Just the cards. Well, when I was little, I did buy those magic tricks, like the
kit or
or whatever,
or just the individual trick. Because I know they sell like the kit
I had
box.
the big kit, and then the magic shop at Disneyland.
Yes,
I went in there and I would see them perform. Like, that's cool. I want that. How do I do that? Or going to Vegas and seeing them do that. It's like, I want that.
Same thing at the fair. At least the OC fair. There's in the artist alley where, like, you know, all the artisans, there's always the booth right on the corner is the magic shop, and it's really small. It's not a big booth because I think it's just got a curtain the guy goes behind that just leads to the corner of the tent, which is like literally right behind him. But I think he just got his mat and just was performing tricks and just trying to get people to buy the tricks off the rack tricks.
They're actually pretty pricey for the more impressive tricks, not the kinds that come in those kits.
I believe it. I like my tricks pricey.
Yeah. I still have those. And then I think recently, actually in the gift shop, they had a box, the preset magic box. It was like a Penn and Teller Full Us magic trick set.
Oh yeah, I did see that.
I was like, huh, that's weird. They just plaster their name on it, but it's the same tricks that they've been selling for years.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's hard to tell where I can't tell what they stand with the magic community because they were persona non grata for a while because they tell people how they did tricks, and that's kind of a big no-no in the magic community.
Yeah, but the way Penn and Teller did tricks, though, it was kind of part of their show. It's like, this is how you do the trick, and then they would one-up it and just totally blow your mind. It's like, okay, so I know what I'm expecting, and that was misdirection in and of itself, into them doing, say, like the cups and balls, and then changing it up for, like, the clear.
Because, yeah, they got a few different ones. They got, like, they do the cups and balls as it's normally done with, like, just 3 opaque cups. And then they do it their own way with 3 clear cups. And you see everything happening. You see each slight, each misdirection, each basically everything. But the joke is they do it so fast that, like, you see it happening, but your mind can't keep up with what's happening until you get repeat viewings and you know what you're looking for. But otherwise, the first time you see it, which is like what audience did see when they just performed it live,
mind blown.
By the time they saw it, they're just like, I don't know what I just saw. I couldn't do that again if you asked me. But they also do one where the person's body is like, they put them in like a cabinet and then they separate their body into pieces. They have an act where they do that. They do it normally, and then they do one where you can see through all the parts, so you could see how the trick works, basically. I think there's one more where they're explaining, like, the 7 keys to magic. I don't know if you've seen that one.
No.
It's basically where they're explaining, like, misdirection and, like, slights and basically in one bit, in one skit. Kind of he does everything, and then they do, like, a song to it. And it's really interesting, and it's kind of the basis for magic. It's like, these are the things that you need to know how to do to, like, steal and to, like, load and stuff like that. But it was really interesting. I think they were kind of in trouble with the Magic Society, but they apparently didn't care. And they got popular either way, because people know who Penn and Teller are. But they must be on the up and up now, because they got their stuff in the Magic Castle. They're just hawking stuff now.
As you do.
As you do.
Buy my trick.
But yeah, yeah, we did see those in the gift shop, which was interesting.
Yeah. I think, oh yeah. Did you get magic water at the end of the night from the valet?
No. What?
We got magic water.
I don't think we got any of that.
The guy's like, sorry for taking so long for your car. It's like, no, that's fine. And then he came by and he's like, oh yeah, we left a tip on the card, prepaid, whatever, inside. Like, oh, okay. Then we got in the car and he came running. He's like, oh, here's a bottle of magic water. So it's labeled like, the Academy of Magical Arts on the bottle with the logo. It's like, cool. Magic water.
You got magic water. Not everyone got magic water.
It's like the Gilly water that they sell at Universal.
Not for drinking.
It's just labeled.
Don't drink that water. It's dangerous.
Overall, definitely an A+ experience, and I would recommend anyone to do it if they had the chance.
If you can find somebody to get you in, go in.
It's just like Club 33. If you can get in, take it. And
I think Club 33 is even harder, though.
yeah, it's not as easy, but
But you've already been anyway.
it kind of
so.
still has that feel of like exclusive. Yeah, that whole
What, Club 33 or Magic Castle?
both.
Okay.
I mean, it's exclusive for either one, and when you go in, it still does feel that way. I'm not sure about the new Club 33.
When you went, did you have to wear a suit and tie? To
Where?
Club 33.
No, just button-up shirt,
Oh, okay.
and I think jeans were fine because it's in a theme park.
Okay.
But you did have to present yourself a little bit nicer. But I think there are members, like from way back when, in the early days of the club, who are like lifetime members. They just pay that one time. And now they don't have that anymore. Now you must pay, unless you're grandfathered in, you must pay like subscription type deal.
Well, that's the only
Okay.
way some of those people on the list are ever going to get a sniff at Club 33.
Yeah.
Unless
So you see them in there in like shorts and a t-shirt. I'm like, wait a minute. But I think when I went, it was for dinner time, so I don't know if it has more lax rules for lunchtime.
That's a good point.
I don't go all that often.
You don't want to look like a snob, so, you know.
Yeah, just the one time's enough for me.
Yeah, you know. Act like you got money. Like, I don't need to be here. It's like, even though you just really want to be there.
But I would say the experience, if you want something that's more accessible, Carthay Circle at California Adventure has that kind of feel.
Just not that kind of food.
Yeah, the food has still been a miss. And I don't know how other people say the food's amazing there. And it's just not.
But it
I
must
don't
be.
get it.
They say it. It's
And-
true because they say it.
And the same people say Steakhouse 55 sucks. And I'm like, no, it doesn't. It's the best thing ever.
That's the place you need to go.
But you do have to order the steak. Any steak that you get with the Steakhouse 55 dry rub, they have to prepare it with that, and then you'll have an amazing steak.
Pro tip. To all our taco listeners out there. Which I had forgotten, and I tried to text him. Like, I have something I'm supposed to get, but I can't remember what it is. And I got the wrong thing. And I botched it right at the end. I'm like,
Yeah, I remember we talked about that. How many episodes ago was that? Oh, wow.
When
But I remembered what I got was called. It was the beef carpaccio, which is like a filet mignon cut that's ground up, and then that's where they serve it on like that granite slab. Crack an egg into it and mix it up, and then you have these like super crispy.
that was like the steak
bread
tartare.
Yeah, the tartare's different from that, but
Oh.
I guess it's kind of similar.
Well, because the tartare is what I thought you got.
They're both raw.
Because they have it.
Yeah.
But
They didn't
the
have it that other time.
tartare, when I went, wasn't... It was just like... It was small. Like, there was just like a bite. But it was expensive. I'm like, this... Either they changed it, or I just ordered the wrong thing. I thought they changed it, but now that I think about it,
Well,
maybe I just ordered the wrong thing.
Their menu's pretty seasonal, so it does change often. But if you do want the tartare, there's a place out, Parks Korean Barbecue. I don't remember if it's in K-Town or actually Los Angeles proper. I could look it up, but their tartar over there was amazing, and they gave you a lot. And it was fresh. And I'm like, can I get another one? It's like, you probably shouldn't.
No.
You shouldn't have that much raw beef inside of you.
Just ask Kevin Smith. Does not go well.
But it's delicious.
It's an amazing story, but it's not going to go well. Unless you really, really needed to spend some time counting tiles in your bathroom. Probably not the best option. I'm going to go with a no on that one.
It's a negatory.
But yeah, that's why. So back to the magic. The magic.
Magic.
That's where we're
The
talking
Harry
about.
Potter for California. Hogwarts for California.
Yes. It could be happening there.
It's like, no, that's at Universal. What are you talking about?
Coming to the Magic Castle, which already has magic in the
Do they
name.
have 27-day dry-aged ribeye, bone-in ribeye there? No.
No.
Whatever peasant offerings they have at the Three Broomsticks.
Peasants.
Yeah, I think I only ordered so much really just because the only time I figured that would be the only time we'd be there.
Yeah, that's what I
Ever.
usually do. That's why I usually try to make the most of the situation.
But I already have picked out what I'm going to order if I do ever get a chance to go again.
To
The Magic Castle. I will start off with seared ahi tuna for an appetizer.
we didn't try that.
And then they should have another round of special drinks to go with that. Maybe order the 4-cheese garlic bread instead of the free bread that we had to ask for.
Twice
Can
or
we get-
3 times.
Can we get the free pretzel bread?
Yeah, that's coming.
I guess.
You're just putting everybody out by asking for our free stuff. Sure you don't want more paid stuff?
And then I'll get the Magic Castle famous chili just to see how good it is. And see if they have french fries. Probably not.
Putting
He's
together,
like, no chili cheese fries.
put together my own thing, my own combo.
Where'd you get that? I made it.
I just have to name it now. That's the secret. That's how you stay on the menu. You have to give it a good name.
Yes. And then I think that it'd either be the filet mignon or the Wellington, beef Wellington.
No one got the Wellington, huh? Just the filet mignon.
Well, beef Wellington's a little bit harder to order and have prepared properly, I guess. Because the way they describe it, it's a beef tenderloin, which is kind of like a fillet. And then liver and truffle pate. And that's what Scott was telling me. That's the hard part to get right. Because if they don't do the pate right, and they put on too thick of a layer between the beef and the puff pastry, then it won't come out tasting as good as it should. And the weird thing is, as soon as that came up, like, oh, beef Wellington, then on Reddit pops up, Chef Gordon Ramsay, beef Wellington. Here's my take on beef Wellington. Beef Wellington, and like I'm just seeing it everywhere now. And like now I really want to try
following
it.
you around.
It's like, try me.
Eat me.
And my first exposure to beef Wellington, how I knew about it? Married with Children.
Yeah.
That episode where I guess Marcy puts a dent in Steve's Mercedes and he acts all sad. And then she has to kind of be his servant.
Slave, right.
He's like, oh, what would you like for dinner, honey? I don't know. Something easy. Maybe beef Wellington and baked Alaska. I'm like, ooh, that sounds fancy. I wonder what that is. And like, ooh, food of the rich people.
That's how the rich people live. Or according to... Well, no, they would be the rich ones. The middle class would be the Bundys.
So, according to what you ordered, that was $75. The beef Wellington's only $40. So that's peasant food as well.
It's good enough for me to step on my way to the other food. Just clean my shoes on it as I move on.
And all this wants to make me do after trying what you and Claudia had for the dry-aged bone-in ribeye is to go to New York, and eat at Gallagher's over there. Because in their window, they always show, here's all the meat that we're drying out. We're dry-aging. It's going to be super tender.
You've never eaten there before?
I pass by it, and I see on the menu, it's like, oh, you want the steak? $50, $60. And like, I'm just going to go over and get some $1.50 hot dogs over there.
It's like, I'll be back another day, maybe another time. But for now, I'll have a hot dog. Same thing. Meat's meat.
I'm going to class it up. I'm going to get some Nathan's. Some name brand hot dogs.
It's just classy enough because it's named, so you know it's fancier.
It's gotten way expensive now, though.
Because people know?
For the Nathans?
Yeah.
No, I think they're just charging a lot because they can. And people still go. I'm like, why do I still come here? It's so expensive. Remember the last time you were over there?
I do.
Yeah, that was an expensive bill. I'm like, man, I could have had a really nice steak for this price. I could have had some $40 beef Wellington for these hot dogs and chili cheese fries.
I could have got me a beef Wellington. That would have been awesome.
Class it up even more.
So classy.
Go eat at that old steakhouse at Circus. You're dressed up fancy. You must be here for the steak.
Yes, I am.
There's no other reason you'd be here.
Obviously, you're either lost or you're here for the steak.
Steak me.
Steak me.
Steakums. Yeah, so all in all, that rekindled my interest in magic. And yours, I'm sure, as well, because you definitely fell down that YouTube magic rabbit hole today.
Actually, those were... I've had them saved as in my favorites. Oh, except for the David Blaine one. That one I didn't have saved, but I did fall down that hole.
Yeah.
But other ones, I... Like, every once in a while, I was just like, I could go for some magic. So then I just watch them, and I'm like, that was good.
Did you ever buy any, like, magic tricks or get sucked into that whole...
If I did, I want to say it was just one. But I don't even think I even bought that.
Was that the part where you bought that little plastic contraption, stick your finger in the hole, and then push down, and it's supposed to slice stuff?
No.
The plastic guillotine?
The guillotine.
Yeah.
I was like, no, I don't think I got me some of that. I don't think I ever bought one of the kits, though, or the bigger ones. Because I guess it just didn't really... appealed to me to do it myself. I'm more of I'll watch everyone else do it. Although, I guess with a pack of cards, you can learn sleight of hand in your free time. I guess. Or with a coin. You gotta get the...
Yeah.
the $50 or something.
Yeah, he's laying out coins. It's like, how many coins do I have in this hand? 3. 4.
Gotta keep up.
What? I didn't see you do. Your sleeves are rolled up. How did you... What?
Stop messing with the devil. That's the devil's magic. You're the devil. Making coins disappear from my hand. It's not right, I tell you. It's not right.
How many coins do you have in your hand? I changed the coin. What? You were holding that coin.
I was at first trying to, like, let me see if I could figure out what's going on. And then after even a short amount of time, I'm like, it takes all the fun out of it. Let's just see it happen. Maybe later on, because you didn't, I don't know if that was your second viewing of it.
Not the coins. I missed
Not
the first
coins.
part of that. So that's the first time I saw that.
So it's
too.
the first time for you too. So the first time is always the time, and then next time she's like, "How are you doing? I'm going to figure out his secrets. Then I shall sell his secrets for the top bidder." I guess.
So overall, what would you rate it on a scale of 1 to 10 white rabbits out of a hat?
I'd say 10. If you can get in, definitely worth going. The money is kind of a bummer. Like, I mean, since it was my birthday, people paid for me, but even then, it's kind of a bummer.
It's a heavy hitter.
It is
to the wallet.
But in theory, if you're gonna even go to a movie like at the El Cap or go to a play at the Pantages, which is kind of down the street, you're kind of paying that much for the Pantages.
Or even if you're seeing a magic show in Vegas.
Yeah, I think the Penn Teller one is about 60 or something around there. Unless you get tickets now or whatever that cheaper ticket thing is. Which is what we did. I think we got the technically cheaper tickets.
I too would give it 10 out of 10 magic owls.
Magic owls. I would like to go again if I could. Now that I kind of have an idea of how it all works out,
now you know.
I can appreciate it more without like, are we getting lost? Do we have to go? Where are we supposed to be going? That kind of thing. I think I'll appreciate it more. It's like, I'm an old hat at this. Let's go sit in the front row and get picked on.
Prepare to be mystified.
I still don't know how you did the table thing.
I've seen that before on TV.
Oh.
Possibly in a variety show in Vegas, maybe.
Probably.
And
It looked kind of familiar, but I didn't know. Like, seeing it live was the thing that kind of like, okay, I'm literally watching it. There's no camera tricks right there. I'm watching it. But what am I watching?
I think that's one of the ones you can probably Google and find out. But I'm like, I don't know if I'm going to be disillusioned just quite yet. I'm still on the magic high.
The magic high.
So there was a list of 10 things you didn't know about the Magic Castle. And we covered some of them already.
Oh.
So the Magic Castle opened in 1963, and at the time it only had one showroom. And it was used as a showcase room for unpaid magicians to work on new material and handle crowd overflow. And magic skills are not required to join. Technically, nobody is a member of the castle. The Academy of Magical Arts are the ones what they are actually members of the AMA. And the Magic Castle is the building. So the AMA is
semantics, really.
Right.
Just, if not, they're not the organization.
People actually once lived there. Neil Patrick Harris used to be the club's president, title Ambassador of Magic.
I was kind of wishing I could have been there during that time, or even known about the place.
I think that was 5 years ago, something like that. Yeah. Suit and tie are required, loaner clothes in case you forget, which are the most gaudy and obnoxious.
Now I want to go back just to see them.
Like, I want to wear it.
Obviously, we don't have that kind of shame, and no one would care about us anyway otherwise at that place, so it's not like it'd be that much of an embarrassment or something. Be like, whatever. We wanted to wear jeans.
It has the 5 bars. The more alcohol, the better the magic.
I don't know if that's always true. Depends how belligerent you get.
The entrance is magical. The magic bookcase. And the magic owl with the magic password.
Magic.
Magic Castle is
That
kind of
was
LA's
cool.
version of Hogwarts. Seriously has a junior society that teaches teenagers how to be world-class magicians and find all of Voldemort's Horcruxes.
Witchcraft. Confirmed.
Or a wizard.
Like a Sunday or like a summer school there. Learn magic, become a witch.
You can hold a seance to talk to Houdini's ghost. The clubhouse caught fire on Halloween in 2011. Nobody was hurt. Strange thing, it was the anniversary of Houdini's death. Even stranger, the theme party that night was called Inferno.
Inferno!
And they have promotional souvenir stuff that proves it too.
Proved.
It isn't the only exclusive magic club in the world. There's also the Magic Circle in London, which has no relation. But the Magic Circle is only open one day each week because LA is greater than London. And then this one, which isn't true anymore because this article is back in 2014. They said it has 30-day trial memberships for $250. You get access for a guest on weekdays to the castle plus the Sunday brunch. But the trial memberships are being discontinued as of January 2015 because Magic Castle. So that means the regular membership, but the trial's $250.
I was just thinking of that. It's like, oh, that must mean it's not going to be $251, so
It's going to be $250 many. And then the other thing that you can do in there, they have what's called the Legend of Invisible Irma. So supposedly they have this piano there that the ghost of Irma plays because she died, but she likes to play tunes. She'll play old classic songs and new songs too. Technology. I mean,
they'll say like, wait, ghost technology. So there are, like, we didn't see that. So there are.
well,
some
I saw the piano. We walked by it, and then
but you didn't get to like interact. Or,
well, we were kind of on a rush
Right.
schedule. It's like, we got to do this. We got to do this. Like, I'm trying to take it all in.
there's no time to take it in.
Can't take it all in. It's too much.
You
That's
can
what
take a
she
drink.
said.
Got a lot of bars, so they want you to get nice and drunk, so the magic will get better.
As a gift shop, and I did spend a pretty penny on the gift shop. I have plushy owls and plushy magic bunnies.
Really
Plush.
maximized your time there.
It's like that one time I was at Club 33. It's like, I'm never gonna be back here, and there's this exclusive merchandise, so I gotta buy it all. How much money do I have? Not
Take
enough.
all the monies. All the monies.
So it's like, okay, what's gonna really count? What's gonna matter the most? Like, okay, here's a shot glass, here's a keychain, here's some Mickey hats that say Club 33 on them,
So if you get like,
and amount of money.
just thinking about it, my gosh, you run out of money. It's like,
They were selling matchboxes for $1. I'm like, really?
well, I
They should
guess
be
in a pinch,
free.
it's still multi-useful,
Yeah, I guess.
even though you won't be able to see it in the dark. So there's that.
Yeah. Whatevs. Whatevs.
What ifs? But yeah, it was. I would like to go back sometime, and see another performer. If you could figure it out, I'd be in for that.
Oh, I found a YouTube video from 9 years ago. Jeff McBride on World's Greatest Magic.
I kinda
9
think
years
that's
ago. I
where
think that's...
I must have seen it there because I can't think of wherever I saw him, but he looked familiar.
Yeah. Well, that's Interesting. Anything else you want to add?
Nope. I think I'm good. All magicked out. Got to get all my magic out.
So shall we start another segment? Or save that for next time?
I think I'm good for saving it for next time. I had something else that I needed to talk about anyway, but I can save it for next time. I actually got stuff.
Really?
For next time. Teaser.
Teaser.
Excuse me.
Well then, that brings us to the end of our show. I believe in magic.
I like it. Makes me feel good. Magic. Magic.
Magic.
Magic. So happy, go lucky.
So, where can people reach us?
They can reach us at our Facebook page. Facebook.com/Taco Knights Podcast. Also, if you need to send us an email about what we got wrong about magic, which is probably a lot, you can send us an email at, Taco Knights Podcast at gmail.com. And you can tell us what we did wrong or right, or if you want to talk about something specific, like your favorite magic, we'll talk about that. Your favorite magician or feat of prestidigitation.
Prestidigitation. Magic.
Also find us... Oh, go ahead.
And if you don't have that much to write in an email, you can write a shorter message on Twitter in 140 characters or less at Taco Knights.
That is all.
That is all.
Excuse me.
Or follow us on Instagram at Taco Knights Podcast.
Yeah.
We'll post up all the pictures that we're not allowed to take from the Magic Castle, so we have none.
So look forward to those. Just keep an eye out for those. The magic part is that they won't be visible to the naked eye.
You need to say the magic word. Magic.
Onomatopoeia?
Magic.
Magic.
Oh, it's playing again.
Open sesame.
That's to open the door.
Ah, yes.
You say that to the magic owl. Those magic words to the magic owl to open up the magic door.
You shouted in the owl's face. You terrify the owl with your magical presence, and then the door opens.
Magically.
Magically, yes. Not through technology. Anything else to add?
This has been a very magical podcast.
Damn, I lost count. That's pretty good, too. That would have been a good count.
So coming to you from the magical world of the Taco Knights.
Yeah.
And their magic words.
My magic words or your magic words?
Our magic words.
I've been your co-host, Kikoa.
And I've been your other magical host. Magic. Ben. I believe in magic.
I believe in magic.
Play us out. Magic.